I am Jen Burson. I'm the founder of Generation PR, and we are a full service PR and social media marketing agency. One of the topics that has come up quite a bit that people want to have covered is charging what they're worth and strategies for how they can charge what they're worth. And it also came up yesterday on our mastermind coaching call for a very seasoned PR professional who took a step back to have her children and just, had her third child and is now just stepping back into full force in the agency now that she's a mom of three, and feels like that somehow put her behind in terms of what she could charge. And it seemed almost like a self-imposed penalty box, right? Like, well, I've taken a step back and I've had some time off, so I can't possibly come in and charge the rates that I was before I had kids. So it was just kind of an interesting discussion and made me want to bring to you some strategies about how you can charge more. When I first started my agency, my strategy was to charge as little as I could for so many reasons, but eventually I realized that all of those reasons were rooted in fear. And I was afraid to ask for more money because I thought that my client leads would just up and, take their business elsewhere. And that I didn't really have the experience or the knowledge to merit the rates or the retainers that I really wanted to earn. And that in a world of like experts and authorities, maybe I didn't stack up. I needed to be charging more in order to truly scale and grow my agency. I needed to charge more. It just wasn't enough to come in low and think, well, I'm just going to charge enough to make a profit, but I'm not going to be the highest priced option because then I won't win the business. Raising your prices, it attracts clients that are actually more than happy to pay for the work you're doing. Now charging more. I run a really profitable PR agency. That's obviously why you're here, is to learn from me and others how to have a more profitable business. Yeah. And knowing that our rates are higher, the kind of ironic thing is we are attracting bigger clients. We now support billion-dollar brands. So my agency has 3 different niches: beauty and cosmetics, health and wellness, and baby and kids. And I have a billion-dollar client in each of those 3 niches. So I have 3 billion-dollar companies that our agency supports. So I want to share with you some of the strategies that I use to implement these higher rates so that you can start using them today to charge what you're worth. So when I started my agency, like so many other people, I kind of suffered from imposter syndrome. And I had this inability to really internalize what I had accomplished or things that were happening, what I was able to have happen in my business for myself or for our clients, as kind of this persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud, right? Like, I had this imposter syndrome. I was also coming off being a lawyer, so I had a complete career shift. And I was like, why would anyone hire a lawyer to be their publicist? Maybe I got a couple wins under my belt and I was like, oh my God, like I'm so lucky. That's so lucky, but that's never going to happen again. Or, oh my God, this client is trusting in me, but they're going to find out that I really don't know what I'm doing, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing, right? So does that sound familiar? Like this fear of being exposed as a fraud. One of the simplest ways to kind of overcome that is, first of all, understanding why you feel that imposter syndrome. And we talk about this a lot in the programs, but it's understanding that you are stepping into a bigger role. You're showing up in a bigger way, serving in a bigger way. So you're doing something that maybe you've never done before, or you're stepping up and you're growing because you've never really operated in that way before. So it doesn't mean that you're an imposter. It means that you're taking on more responsibility and you can step up and rise to the occasion. You have what it takes. You can use kind of what got you here to elevate your role. I mean, think about someone like Jeff Bezos, right? He's never run a $1 trillion company before, right? But he's stepping into that role, right? And he never ran a company as big as Amazon, but he stepped up and stepped into that role as the company needed him and grew, and he needed to step up and show up in a bigger way. So, and we've talked, Oprah's talked about imposter syndrome, Maya Angelou, Natalie Portman. This has come up a lot. It's these big name people. They realize that they're showing up in a bigger way and serving their audience on a bigger stage. And so it feels intimidating. So understand why you're feeling it, but also know the facts, because facts can kill fear. The simplest way that you can undermine that fear that you might not be good enough is to get a clear understanding of what other people are doing, what results they get, what do they get paid. How, what I did is I researched my competition as much as possible and as often as possible. And I kind of asked myself objectively, how do I measure up? What are my outcomes, and are they as good as theirs? How can I get the results that other people are getting? Do I have what it takes, or what can I train myself on to be the best service provider to my clients so that I can get the best results for them? Am I as visible in the industry as my peers? So I really did my homework. And once you do your homework, you might realize that there are little opportunities for growth, and you can see where you need to invest so that you can be the top of your game. Or you might just realize that you are at the top of your game, right? That you do have what it takes to get those results. And maybe like the woman in my coaching program who hasn't gotten those results in a while because she took a step back to have a baby, it doesn't mean that she can't get them again. She just needs to step into that and know that she can rise to the occasion again. The skills that she had before she was a mom translate now to where she is as a mom and now a business owner. And I've talked a lot about how we as women and moms are some of the best entrepreneurs because we're problem solvers, we're really strategic, we are very focused on how we spend our time. If you've got 6 hours in the day, my kids are gone for 6 hours at school. I am the most efficient and effective person during those 6 hours that you possibly could imagine, because I know I got to get in and get out and get it done. So being a mom is not a penalty. It's actually something that you can kind of lean on to be a really effective entrepreneur, and know confidently that it makes you an amazing entrepreneur.